we remain clear that those who can work from home should continue to do so. However, as those who cannot start to return to their jobs, the safety of the public and of the transport workers must be paramount. That is why the Department for Transport has today published 2 new pieces of guidance for passengers and for operators. These documents aim to give passengers the confidence to travel, and they seek to give operators the information they need to provide safer services and workplaces for passengers and for staff. We encourage operators to consider the particular needs of their customers and workers as they translate these documents into action. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the first document is aimed at passengers. I'll summarise some of the main points contained in this advice. Firstly, as I mentioned, we continue to ask people to only go to work if they cannot do their jobs from home. That's because even as transport begins to revert to a full service, the 2-metre distancing rule will only leave effective capacity for 1 in 10 passengers overall. 1 in 10. Therefore, it's crucial that we protect our network by minimising the pressures placed upon it and ensure it's ready to serve those who most need it. As a result, we are actively asking those who need to make journeys to their place of work or other essential trips to walk or to cycle wherever possible. In order to help us do more of this, last week I announced an unprecedented £2 billion investment to put walking and cycling right at the heart of our transport policy. The first stage, it's worth £250 million, will include a series of swift emergency measures, including pop-up bike lanes, wider pavements, and cycling and bus-only corridors. This money should help protect our public transport network in the weeks and months ahead. It's my hope that they will eventually allow us to harness the vast health, social, and environmental benefits that active forms of travel can provide. If people cannot walk but have access to a car, and I appreciate that I will be the only Transport Secretary to have said this for very many years, if people have access to a car, we urge them to use the car before they consider public transport, avoiding where possible any busy times of day. I do, however, recognise that for some people, using transport is a necessity. In this case, passengers should follow the guidance we've set out today in order to keep themselves safe. This recommends that travellers must maintain social distancing by staying 2 metres apart wherever possible to prevent the virus. We also advise that as a precautionary measure, particularly where that's not possible, people wear face coverings when using public transport. This could help protect other travellers from coronavirus, where someone has perhaps unwittingly or unknowingly developed the illness, but they're not actually showing any symptoms. And we urge passengers to avoid the rush hour, replan their visits, to use contactless payments where at all possible, and to wash their hands before and after their journeys. In addition, the guidance also reminds us that at this most challenging of times, it's more vital than ever that we think about the needs of others. Our transport operators, their staff, are doing an incredible job to keep everyone safe. Please follow their advice. From stations to bus interchanges, be patient and be considerate to fellow passengers and staff. In particular, we should remember the needs of disabled passengers and those with hearing and sight impairments, and older travellers too. Mr. Deputy Speaker, as I mentioned, we're also publishing a second document, guidance for transport operators, today. These organisations really are at the forefront of the national recovery effort. They know the insides and outs of the needs of their customers, the needs of their workers, and they understand, like no one else, their industry's specific needs. That's why I have no doubt that the operators are best placed to implement the safety processes that work best for their businesses, their employees, and their customers. The guidance we're publishing today advises operators across all forms of private and public transport on the measures that they can take to improve safety. These steps include ensuring stations, services and equipment are regularly cleaned, making sure passenger flows are clearly communicated to try to avoid crowding, to try to keep everyone on the network, passengers and staff, 2 metres apart wherever possible. The guidance will develop over time, in line with our increasing understanding of how coronavirus is spread and indeed how it's contained. In addition, it's likely there will be no one-size-fits-all approach to this implementation. It will need to be tailored and localised based on plans of local specific transport needs. In preparation for that process, yesterday I wrote to local authorities to set out how we can work together to prepare transport networks at a local level for restart and ensure public safety. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the documents I published today will help ready our transport system to support our country as we seek to control the virus and restart the economy. We will inevitably encounter obstacles along the way as we embark on the next stage of our national fight back against this virus. And there is no doubt that we need to continue to work together to overcome these challenges. And on that note, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I'd like to express my gratitude to our partners in the devolved administrations, the local authorities, the mayors, trade unions and transport operators for their work over the past few weeks. I look forward to the continued collaboration in future because cooperation is going to be key to setting the country on the road to recovery. If everyone plays their part, if we continue to stay alert, we can control the virus and save lives. And if we all follow this guidance when making essential journeys, I believe that together we can harness the power of transport to build and renew a revitalised nation. And I commend this statement to the House.